Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We're here today with another Sims 2 renovation and we are still in Riverblossom Hills today, and this is the grocery store in Riverblossom Hills. So if you haven't seen my last Sims 2 speed build where I moved in Alexandra Omaki, in that video I did discuss how I have really enjoyed renovating Pleasant View and how satisfying I find my Pleasant View gameplay now that everything has been renovated. So all the Sims have had their makeovers, every single lot has been renovated, and it's, you know, in my style, it's what I think looks aesthetically pleasing, and I just find it so much nicer playing that way. Like I get a greater sense of joy from it than like the vanilla Marxist neighborhood gives me. And I was saying to some of my friends how I really wish I could just binge Pleasant View. Like when I'm recording it for YouTube, I can't go too far in advance. Like I have to stay somewhat close to my video schedule. Like I can't go and play like 6 rounds further ahead than my videos are going up. Because like I'd like, you know, your input on things, and if I'm confused on where I want to take something in the story, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. And you know, I want this to be like something that we work on together. So I can't really binge it in the way that I want. You know, I can't sit and play Pleasant View for 12 hours straight. It's just not gonna work, you know, unless I started posting every day. And you know, don't tempt me because I will. But I needed something that I could just work on when I wanted to. So that's why I wanted to start working on a sort of Desiderata and Riverblossom hood combination. I don't know if you would call that a mega hood. I'm not entirely sure with like the terminologies, but I know with like Uber hoods, that's all the Maxis neighborhoods together. And I'm guessing maybe a mega hood is 3 of them, but I don't know, when people talk about mega hoods, they're usually just combining like Pleasant View and like Strangetown. So I'm not entirely sure, maybe it's not called anything, but that's what I wanted to do. Desiderata and Riverblossom Hills, I feel, are very underrated neighborhoods. I really enjoy both of them. I find the gameplay fun. I really like the families. Desiderata Valley is not a pretty neighborhood. I mean, the neighborhood itself is fine. The builds within it are horrendous. So Desiderata Valley, I'm just gonna have to like bulldoze the whole thing and then start working on it. But I don't know, I think there's a lot of fun stories in it, and you know, I want to explore it. So that's basically what I'm doing. So I think I mentioned this in my last sort of renovation video, but in terms of the gameplay, as I am, you know, playing it when I want and when I'm free, there won't be any sort of gameplay updates on the channel. However, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any gameplay updates anywhere, because if you're not aware, I do actually have a Sims Tumblr. I post things from all the Sims games. I will be honest, I don't post a lot from The Sims 4 just because that's not one I play often, but I have quite a lot of Sims 2 updates. And in terms of The Sims 3, I do have a legacy family on there that we have just reached level 2, generation 2 with, and that is the Banish family, and I post them quite regularly on my Tumblr as well. So if you want to see more Sims content from me that's not in video form, definitely go follow me there. I am somewhat active. I usually always have posts going up. Sometimes my queue does run out though, but you know, it's shh. But yeah, that is where all my maybe mega hood posts will go. And if you do want to sort of see everything that I'm posting about Desiderata and Riverblossom, all of these sort of mega hood posts, I'm just gonna call it a mega hood, okay? If I'm wrong, please correct me and you know, I will call it something else. But all my mega hood posts are tagged as Desiderata Hills. I know that's obviously not the real town names, but it's a mashup of both. I assume you understand where I've gone with that. But yeah, everything will be tagged Desiderata Hills. So I would typically play that the same way I would play my Pleasant View. I would, you know, do a 1-day round in every household to get them set up. I.e. that is when I'm going to be building most of the houses, or renovating most of the houses, I should say. And then I will do 3-day rounds after that. I know when a lot of people do rotational gameplay, they like to do sort of 5 days or a week, just to either tie it in with the season or just, you know, like a Monday to Monday type thing. But there are some families that I find exceptionally boring to play. And I couldn't be trapped in that house for a week straight. Like, there are some families I could quite happily play solidly for like a month sim time, but then there's some families where 3 days is a stretch. So that's just the reason I do the rotations in the way that I do. So in terms of this build, because I don't think I've actually talked about it yet, but Riverblossom Hills to me is always a farming town. Like, Riverblossom Hills is the town that came with seasons, and you know, gardening was a big thing that came with that pack. So we've got plant sims, we've got, you know, harvestables, we can make juice, and I do just see Riverblossom Hills as like a quaint farming town, so most of their money is made from crops. So with this building, the grocery store was originally a barn, and I kind of want to keep that vibe, but I didn't want it to look the way it did because I didn't really like it. But the way I kind of sort of viewed this building is it's like a converted farm building. So on one side we have the grocery store, and then on the other side we have like a coffee shop. So I think I mentioned, it must have been in my Pleasant View renovation, because I added a grocery shop there, a coffee shop in with my grocery shop there. And it's just because in the UK, like, coffee shops or grocery shops even tend to have sort of cafes attached to them. So it's just something I like to do in my builds. And, you know, one of my sort of personal criticisms about sort of Maxis builds is there's not really a lot for your Sims to do when they're there. So I do like to sort of give them more of a reason to go out. You know, like, if I want my Sims to buy groceries, I want it to be more than like one interaction. Like, if I'm going to be sitting through a loading screen, however quick it is, I want my Sims to have a reason for going there. So that is kind of like my thoughts on this. I just wanted to, you know, make it sort of more of a day out and just sort of make the lots a bit more fun. But I do have a lot of community lots to edit, to renovate, because not only am I doing 2 neighbourhoods at once, because I have in Pleasant View ignored Blue Water Village for the time being. I have completely ignored that, because I know I'm not ready to introduce that into the rotation. Whereas with Desiderata and Riverblossom, I kind of feel I can do that just because I'll be playing at my own pace. But with Blue Water, I'm just not ready to introduce it, so I have been ignoring it. Also, this like custom car that has all the harvestables on the back of it, I tried so hard to get that to fit into this lot because I thought it was really cool, but I couldn't get it to work. So now somewhere in Riverblossom Hills, I want to build like a farmer's market just so I can use that car. So, you know, that'll be coming at some point. Or maybe like Leod McGregor's farm, because I like to turn that big barn in his garden into a farm shop. Maybe that could be a good shout. I don't know, we'll see. In my sort of Desiderata Hills playthrough, I do think I'm going to be using open for business a lot. I don't really want to discuss too much about it now because I kind of like to discuss it in their relevant speed builds. I mean, at the moment, I've only done one of them. So I'll be talking about like another home business next week when we renovate a certain family's home. But yeah, I do think I'm going to be using a lot of open for business in these 2 neighborhoods, just because I feel like hobbies and, you know, farming lend themselves very well to home businesses. Like, you know, you're a crafter, you can sell what you make. Oh, you're a farmer, you can sell what you grow. I do feel like these kind of things really do lend themselves well to it. And I'm pretty excited for it because I really do enjoy running businesses. I think it's quite fun. I really struggled with the colours in this build, I am not going to lie. I wanted these builds to be nice and sunny and bright and colourful, but at the same time, the inside wasn't really matching like the outside aesthetic, and I struggled. Like, I feel like with farming, it kind of has to look a bit quaint. So I ended up going for more sort of pastel colours rather than vibrant colours, just so, you know, I could keep the light, airy feel to these builds and to these lots, and like get the vibe I wanted, but also, you know, keep it quite close to its roots. So I think I managed to do it. I'm not entirely sure. It has been a couple days since I built this. I will be honest, I can't actually remember what I've done. But I think I've managed to sort of get the vibe I was going for with this. And I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It's a grocery store. I mean, it is what it is. It's not something I can make super exciting. Unless, like, other people have and I'm just bad at it. Which, I mean, that could also be a thing. Yeah, I like how it turned out. I think I changed the colour of these counters about 1,000,000 times. So I'm just really glad that I wasn't paying for this out of, like, real money. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I think that's about all I have to update you on. I haven't really done a lot recently, other than building in The Sims. Like, that is what I've been doing. Oh, that little custom content hot dog cart. I also really like that. If you're ever curious about where I get my Sims 2 custom content, 90% of it is from Tumblr. I have had a couple of links that I saw on Twitter that I've sort of retweeted there and I want to get. Like, someone has converted the Sims session stages from The Sims 4 into The Sims 2. And I do already have a stage in my game, just so I can build like a concert venue, even though I haven't done it yet. But I think the Sims sessions stages, it's quite hard to say. I do think that would be quite nice to add into like my parks and things, so I've got that. But 90% of my Sims 2 CC I do find on Tumblr. So, not again, another plug for my Tumblr, but if you're ever curious, 90% sure most of it will be in my likes, or I will have reblogged it at some point. I go through like phases when I like batch add CC into my game, so I can't always remember where I've got things. I am where can I find friendly, but if I don't have the link, I'm sorry. A lot of it has come from Veranka. I've got a lot of their conversions. I have a lot of Pooklet. I have a lot of DD. So, I mean, there's a few creators in my game that I have a lot of their stuff. And I've got a lot of sort of recolors from Michelle on Mod The Sims. Like, all my retail recolors and everything, they're from Michelle. So that's where I get the sort of bright colors. And same with, like, bathroom recolors and things. I also have some, like, Max's crib recolors. I don't think they're Michelle though, but yeah, Tumblr or Mod The Sims is where I get most of it. In terms of 4:2 conversions, there is a blog on Tumblr called 4:2 BB database or something similar like that. If you search 4:2, that blog will come up first. But that is like a database of all the build and buy from like every pack, and they've been categorizing everything. And that is where I find almost all of them. I mean, beforehand, I would go through and get them like individually when I knew I wanted something. But since I found that blog, that is where I go. So yeah, I highly recommend checking that blog out if you do like 4:2 conversions. Like, one of my favorite things about The Sims 4 is definitely build mode. I feel like build mode is a lot more intuitive in The Sims 4. And you know, you can do things a lot more easily in The Sims 4 than you could in the older games. And also just the build and buy objects themselves are, like, objectively they look good. And I would quite happily have every single one of those in The Sims 2. And I am slowly working on doing that. A thing I want to sort of get more of in my Sims 2 game. I know I said in a couple of my build videos I'm quite happy with where my custom content is in The Sims 2, which is true. I am very happy with how my game looks, and I am very happy with the mods I have in it. But you can always do with more, you know. But one thing I do want to actually add more of into my game is The Sims 3:2 conversions. Now, The Sims 3 has quite a different style, I feel, to, you know, The Sims 2 and The Sims 4. I feel like The Sims 3 is a more realistic Sims game. Like, The Sims 4 is probably like the most cartoony, and then I think it would be Sims 2 and Sims 3. Whereas I really enjoy a kind of cartoony style, so the conversions will have to be done in a certain way. Like, there is a couple of things I have from the Sims 3 store already in my game. Like, one thing, for example, that I overuse all the time is the Bayside kitchen counters. That is what, like, 90% of my Sims kitchens are, is this Bayside collection. And I love them so much. Sorry, I am rambling on, and I do think we're actually coming to the end of the build. So I do hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see, do let me know down below, because I always like to hear your feedback. Yeah. If you have liked the video, please consider dropping a like down below, because that would help me out massively, and maybe YouTube will like me, who knows. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!